Welcome back, Syndicate members. It is I, Joshua Mammoth, flying solo again with a brand spanking new independent comic book to review. Before we begin our dive into this biscuit tonight, I'd like to take a minute to share this beautiful piece from the Johnny collection from Panther's Gallery. Each piece is one of a kind and individually executed and designed. Boundless to the rules of fashion or restraints of tradition, we relish the fruits of her courage and unconventional choice. A true Renaissance woman. Her work and mine has been time and time again been compared to the likes of Dali, Michelangelo, and tonight, the Mammoth. Her contact information is down below, so hit her up and let her know Joshua Mammoth sent you. I hope you remember what store opens at midnight. That's right, Syndicate members. Luis sent me my very own copy of the new Video Witch. Still hot off the press and personally signed. So first off, let me put a very special thank you out to Mr. Diaz for the mailer, because creators connecting with creators is what it's all about. And you may have noticed the empty stool next to me. Well, since all things are possible within the Mammothverse, I'd like to welcome my next guest and co-star of tonight's selection, the assistant manager of Video Witch, Sam.
Thank you for having me, Joshua Mammoth.
Alright, Syndicate members, let's dive in. So as I mentioned before, Luis sent me copies of the brand new Video Witch comics. That's right, 2. Tonight, however, we'll be diving into Video Gaga. And check out this awesome cover. And yes, Syndicate members, Mr. Diaz personally autographed mine, and that's a special guest on the cover. You may remember Video Howdy from this masterpiece, Gutt Ghost, Trouble with the Sawbuck Skeleton Society. And once again, we have this beautiful black and white that we all love so much from the first comic. And from the flip, this biscuit wastes no time getting the story going, as Sam makes his first appearance on the inside cover by interrupting Miss Witch as she mixes a concoction to reveal her ultimate form. And that's when we see a familiar face, Video Howdy, pawing through the Video Witch collection. Now, if you remember in Trouble with the Sawbuck Society, Video Howdy mentions that his store has unfortunately closed, and that's probably what brought him in tonight. Unfortunately, the in-house selections do not seem to impress him much, but alas, Video Witch in all of her glory has yet to show Howdy what she truly has in stock for his midnight run. Pulling a top-shelf VHS, she reveals the lower chamber, complete with a long staircase. Howdy seems unimpressed, however, just like the Mammoth, Video Witch enjoys a little bit of the showmanship. And then makes the comment, at least I have a place for my collection. And I'm thinking that's a backhanded comment from Howdy's store closure. We see Video Witch's security system, appropriately named Alex. Unfortunately, his directives seem a bit messed up, so Video Witch makes a slight adjustment. Then reveals her Video Throne Room, which Howdy labels as a wanker chair, causing Video Witch to go all E-Honda on it. Before the true reveal, VW has a special treat in store in the janitorial room. As it turns out, she has a Betamax copy of The Exorcist. It's the PG version with all the Pazuzu parts cut out. And yes, as lame as advertised. Fortunately, that was just a distraction from the real content, a massive TMNT collection. And when I say massive, check out this case while Video Witch summons her tape. She acquired a fan-made TMNT film, which goes back to the Raw Turtles of Mirage, which us in comic bookdom know is quite impressive, and would have a similar expression as Howdy here. Of course, Howdy needs another flick to fill his weekend, which leaves one of the Mammoth Syndicate's favorite genres, horror comedy. Now take a minute to really appreciate her horror comedy section. And I bet you can't guess Video Witch's actual selection. Liana Quigley's Horror Workout, which doubles as a romantic comedy. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Scream Queen, after this review, hit up Video Witch and ask for Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bolorama. Tell them Joshua Mammoth sent you. Now, while this is a fine selection, Howdy demands one more, but it must be settled through a combat fighting game. Violent Freaks 5, Mayhem Edition, tomorrow at midnight. The next night at Midnight Massacre, Howdy learns he has to battle Sam here, as Video Witch did say against the house, and Howdy knows better than to back out on a devil's bargain. We all do. Sam once again appears, and this time he's using psychological warfare with this Leatherface mask. I also noticed this 6-button Genesis controller. Even compared it to my personal one, just to be sure.
I love that mask.
After throwing on a Metallica B-side, the players select their fighters. Ugly You and this chick, Class Cannon. I used to date a broad that looked like this. She was always shooting nasty looks at me. With the best of 3 started, both Sam and Howdy show superior skills. Mr. Diaz does some excellent work here showing the back and forth fight. Take a look. After a 1-1 draw, Video Howdy rallies by flipping his hat backwards for the final round. After exchanging both of their finishing moves simultaneously, the third and final round ends in a double KO. Video Witch seems a bit unsatisfied as they square up and Howdy leaves with his flicks. Alright, Syndicate members, it's that time of the video that you've all tuned in for, my special analysis. First up is what I liked about this comic. Well, first and foremost, I must confess that I have a huge bias towards this particular book, being on how the creator is such a great and talented guy, but also the character of Video Howdy as a Gut Ghost character, from creator Enzo Garza, another talented creator I had the pleasure of knowing. So with that being said, the first thing I liked was the video throne room. Video Howdy may have considered it a wanker chair, but the Mammoth thinks it's fracking classy. Another thing I liked was the family sticker on the Exorcist Betamax. I like to file my copy under comedy. What I really liked about Video Gaga was the many forms of Video Witch. We have her huge-headed ultimate form, this anime form, demon tentacle form, Street Fighter form, and so many more. Also, her costume change at the end was so magnificent that I had to make it the middle banner here. Video Howdy was exceptionally great, as Mr. Diaz absolutely nailed not only the look, but his personality as well. The fighting game sequence was excellent, and I really enjoyed the back and forth between the players. And normally, I wouldn't want to see a stalemate, but seeing Video Witch's reaction was worth the deadlock. Lastly, is what I loved about the comic. First off, the use of every single inch of space. Remember when I mentioned that the story starts on the inside cover? Well, take a look at the inside back cover and tell me you don't want to pay those link fees. Video Witch's sense of humor may be her greatest power. For example, when Howdy's curiosity causes him to ask what her romantic section looks like, she replies, "Ask your mom, because it's in hell." Or perhaps when Howdy asks for another rental, she replies, "I'll give you one of these." Classic. The plethora of movie drops was especially nice. And also, Sam was a great addition to the Video Witch team.
Hey, I really appreciate that.
So, all in all, this was another home run by creator Luis Diaz. And you need to grab a copy of these from Blackbird Comics in beautiful Maitland, Florida. And tell them Joshua Mammoth sent you. Well, that's all I have for you tonight, Syndicate members. I hope you enjoyed the review. I'd like to once again personally say thank you to Mr. Diaz, not only for allowing me to once again review his book, but for the signed copy, and also for the book we're reviewing on the next show. All of creator Luis Diaz's information is down below. Hit him up and tell him how much you love Video Witch, and tell him Joshua Mammoth sent you. Remember, Syndicate members, that between the known and the unknown lies the mammoth. I'll see you next time.